Okay, now we have the wires for the pressure sensor. This wire, since this is our test box, this wire has already been cut for other reasons, but right now we'll assume in your box this will be one wire. It'll be a blue one in your box coming off of this pressure sensor and going down that way in the wire harness. And just go ahead and snip that wire. Leave from the zip tie here, leave probably about six inches or so at least of wire when you cut it. And then we'll go ahead also, you'll see the black wire here connects to a brown wire coming out of the PCS wire harness, and just go ahead and cut that connector off and cut it right as close as you can to this piece right here, so that there's as much of the brown wire left as can be. And that'll be it for the wiring right now, and we'll go ahead and continue on removing the cells and getting the tank out of there to change it out. Okay, first we're going to get the strap loose, so we have to just take that nut off of the end right there. There's a 3/8 bolt going through there. Okay, and then to this side, and we loosen the bolt. Okay, we're going to take the 3/8 bolt out of the side of the box there, which will loosen the strap. Okay. Now you can just hang that over the back out of your way. Alright. Now we're going to loosen these two hoses, short hoses that attach to the top of the cells. You take two wrenches on there. Hold the fitting that's in the cell and turn the fitting on the end of the hose. When you're loosening these fittings here, make sure that this end here does not turn at all. It shouldn't, but if you happen to notice it turn, you'll have to actually unscrew this fitting and this hose out of the tank, put some fresh glue on there, and put it back before you go ahead and tighten the cells. Because if it turns on you while you're doing this, that means the seal on the glue is broken, and we don't want any possibility of any leaks. So Pedro's finishing up loosening both of those, and then we'll go ahead and slide the cells backward once both of those are all the way loose. Okay, both of those are loose, and like I said, all we have to do now is slide the cells actually out some, away from the hoses. Okay. And from that point, we should be able to remove the tank. Okay, we have the cells out. Just going to hold that hose up, just in case there's a minimal amount of liquid still in the bottom of the tank. And just go ahead and slide the tank right up out.
Always the tank. If you got any fluid, you dump it out.
Okay, these are the tanks. The one on the left is the tank we just took out of the box. The one on the right is actually the tank that we are shipping over to you guys. It will already have these two hoses in there, and they're glued in already. so you won't have to worry with those. When you have the tank in, you just slide the cells into position, as you'll see us do after, and glue them there. These two hoses, this hose here, this long hose, and this other hose here, you will be taking off of the old tank that you take out and attaching them to this tank. Now, this is the same situation here when we loosen these fittings. It's a 2-wrench situation, and you hold the fitting and use the other wrench to turn the fitting on the end of the hose. If this fitting that's glued into the tank turns at all and the glue seal is broken like that, which happened to us just now when Pedro started to loosen this, then once you get this hose off, this fitting has to be taken out of this tank, cleaned off, and re-glued in the tank. Again, if not, then there's a chance that it will leak. And the same thing with this fitting on this side over here. Okay, we're taking that one fitting out that I was telling you about, and see how it's got glue around the outside right here. You want to take a knife or what you have available and get that glue off of there. And then what we found the easiest way to clean the rest of the glue off is to take it over to a wire wheel and just run it against the wire wheel and get the glue off of the fitting. And when you put the new glue on there to put it back in the box, make sure that the fitting is dry before, and also the threads in here are dry also, before then put the glue on the fitting and screw it back into the box. Okay, this is Pedro cleaning the fitting off on the wire wheel. Just run it up against there until you get all the glue off of that. And he's cleaning both sides off, because the portion where the side that the hose attaches to, there's also glue there, and you'll see that when we put it back together, we put a little bit of glue there also. Okay, we're getting ready to mix some of this glue here. If you only have a little bit to glue, sometimes it's easier just to squeeze that out onto a piece of cardboard or like that, and just actually mix it up right there. And then we'll put a little bit of it on the fitting and screw it back into the tank. Another thing to note, when you switch these hoses from the old tank to the new tank, you want to do both of them. You want to take both of them loose before you start gluing anything, because that way if they both break free, you can do all the gluing at once. Because it's better to put the glue on this fitting, screw the fitting in, and while that glue is still wet, put the hose on the end of the fitting. That way, if this moves again a little bit while you're putting the hose on, it's not a big deal because the glue hasn't dried and set yet. So we'll go ahead and screw this fitting in.
Just going 90 degrees.
And that fitting, yeah, it's going to be pointing straight off to the side there.
This has been cleaned a little bit.
When you take that hose off, we put a little bit of glue on the fitting here, so you want to clean off the inside of the fitting on the end of the hose as best you can and get any dried glue out of there. And we'll show you in a second. We put a little bit of glue right here around the lip and the end of this fitting here, which Pedro's going to do right now. Not much, just a little amount. And like I say, you want to do both of these hoses to get both of them off first, and do all the gluing at one time. Now he's got some glue on there, and he'll go ahead and put the hose. And that's it for that. Okay, so now we'll get ready to go ahead and put the hose back in the, or the tank back in the unit.